here in Tennessee. We don't need y'all to talk about us because we're going to talk about ourselves.
Welcome in, everybody. Once again to Titans Tube. My name is Justin, and with me, as always, is Jake. We are here to recap Week 2 of the Tennessee Titans 2025 football season, and we put up an L. Again, I mean, I guess it's kind of what we expected. Like getting into the game, I mean, here's what I'm thinking, Jake. So we have a yin and yang of things trending up and trending down. I thought Week 2 was a positive thing for Cam Ward. He is trending up, I thought he had a great second week showing. Still has rookie moments, Jake. But then trending down, and I think it's going to be a theme, Jake. I'm just kind of launching right into this. This is the Brian Callahan era is trending down, and we can get into the specifics of that. Jake, Titans lose their home opener to the LA Rams 33-19 in a game where this is why we're pretty low on Callahan is the second half, dude. The second half, games getting away from the Titans. I thought we had a good first half. We looked like a competitive football team. We were matching the Rams blow for blow, went into halftime with the lead, and then we lay a stinker, a clunker in the second half. But there's more positives to point to in this game, Jake. But I'll than there were last week. But still, I mean, we're seeing a lot of the same kind of issues with this football team, and it's going to be that kind of a season. So 0-2 now, Jake, to start the Cam Ward era. I'll throw it to you, man. What were your general feelings and thoughts about the game?
Justin, I can't tell you how many times in the Brian Callahan era that the Titans have taken an opponent to halftime being tied, or the Titans might be up by 3 or up by 7 even, and the other team adjusts and the Titans do not. And Brian Callahan will be in the presser saying, we were just going with what worked in the first half. That is a fireable offense to me because you get out-coached every single week. The Titans, you said it, are competitive in the first half. They look good in the first half. They look like a competitive football team in the first half. And then you flip the script and they get boat raced in the second half, week after week after week. And Justin, these penalties, week after week after week, unbelievable drive-killing penalties when your offense can't get going in the first place. And at what point does the buck stop with Brian Callahan? And I mean, obviously we're already launching into this tirade. I'm sure lots of Titans fans have seen it. Justin, I don't know if you saw it going around Titans subreddit, comparing the first 30 or so games of the Ken Wisenhunt era to the first 30 or so games of the Brian Callahan era. They are unbelievably similar in numbers. Even so, Ken Wisenhunt's offenses have the slight edge in touchdowns scored and points per game. It's unbelievable when you think about the worst coach in Titans history. Bar none, Ken Wisenhunt. And now you've got this offensive guru, quarterback whisperer, Brian Callahan, coming in and underperforming Ken Wisenhunt through 30 games. I mean, it's sad. It's a bummer. And thank God we got the number 1 pick and took Cam Ward this April, because Justin, I would already be saying, see ya, good night. That's the Titans season until he is gone. But now we have a reason to watch. We have a reason for optimism. Justin, I'd be lying if the fan in me did not go absolutely ballistic for Cam Ward's playmaking ability. We saw it week 1 with the Tony Pollard, kind of dump off to the side, or this week he kind of made that diving pass. He's doing Will Levis stuff, but if Will Levis's stuff worked and actually had a chance at developing into a play that was made. Yeah. Listen, Cam Ward's touchdown pass, absolutely electric. You don't want to see him throw across his body like that, but it looked like he was confident. I mean, he delivered it right in the bucket to my new favorite Titan, Justin Ellick, Io Manor. I've been saying Ayo. It's Io Manor. and
Got
we've
it.
got it. We've got the pronunciation as I promised. I said I'd be, a couple weeks into the season before I got it, but we're here. And
We're here.
as the fan in me, was reignited for that special moment where Cam Ward makes a play, gets the Titans in
Oh,
the end zone, back into this football game, and then boom, quick turnaround. Oh my God, great leaping interception by the linebacker, Cody Barton.
yep.
And what does Brian Callahan do with it? Sits on it. He sits on it, and we talk about this week after week, Justin. He has no feel for the game. He has no,
Mm-hmm.
he's conservative when he needs to be aggressive, and he's aggressive when he needs to be conservative. You look at how the last end of the half was handled week one against Denver. He gets ultra aggressive on his own 5 yard line with 45 seconds left. But when he gets the ball and a chance to maybe take one shot to the end zone, just for fun, Justin, you have a young upstart quarterback. Just throw one down there for fun, If he makes a rookie mistake interception, it's coachable tape. It's not the end of the world. You're still going into half tied. And he decides to sit on it, kick the field goal, 13-10, take a halftime lead. One, why didn't you do that last week? It seems like he's overcorrecting from last week's
Yeah.
mistake, but in a completely different scenario, you have momentum. Cam Ward made a play. You got the crowd into it. You get a quick turnover and a chance to put more points on the board. I just have more problem with the play call. Like, I don't have a problem taking a field goal there. That's fine. But just for fun, you can't be boring and bad, Justin. You can't be both. You can be one or the other. Mike Vrabel's Titans were boring, but they were good. Brian Callahan's Titans are bad and boring. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable the lack of pouncing on momentum when we have it, or the lack of adjusting to when we need a momentum and take a shot play. He'll sit on it and run the football. And I just feel like it didn't lose us the game, Justin, like I thought it might have against Denver, because that resulted in 7 points for Denver, whereas this, was 3 points net positive for the Titans. But it's the adjustments. I mean, did anybody really think Brian Callahan was going to outcoach Sean McVay on Sunday? Not a soul. And it showed, and the Rams came out ball of fire. Stafford didn't, it felt like he didn't have an incompletion the entire second half, at least. And there you go. The Titans lose by 14. Yet again, Brian Callahan is like 3-19, I think, thus far in his tenure. Dude, to win some games, you're going to have to take some shots. You're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to try something new. You're going to have to maybe, I don't know, make halftime adjustments. I just don't know what the formula is for him to get a win, or to win over this fan base, or to even win over the locker room. How many weeks does this go on, Justin? I mean, if you're 0-4 after two divisional losses here coming up against Indianapolis and Houston, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, when does the buck stop? So, Justin, I'm going to switch it back
Right.
to you. If this continues the way it's going and the losses stack up, when do you fire Brian Callahan?
That's a good thing you brought up. I was gonna say, we're staring 0-4, in the face. We have 2-0 Indianapolis, and that's the difference. Like Indianapolis, I don't think they have any business, being 2-0. I know they got, pretty fortunate last week against Denver. With that, they had a penalty in their favor, which they got another opportunity to kick the game-winning field goal. All that. But they have Daniel Jones. They drafted a quarterback at number 4 overall who can't beat out Daniel Jones. They're starting that guy, and they're out here winning games because I think they have a coach that knows the game. That he has a feel for it. He coaches to his players' strengths. Is it the Streichen?
Shane Steichen.
STR Streichen. Yeah, I mean, where's our Streichen? I don't know where he came from. He was the first time I've ever heard his name before. Maybe I don't, follow as closely as I should around the hireable coaching ranks during the off seasons. But they seem to be a team that can win some games despite not having a proven quarterback. And Daniel Jones is out here playing some good football. But anyway, going back to your point in your question, Yeah, and then a week after that, we have Houston, and we know how much Amy Adams-Strunk hates the Houston Texans and hates losing to them. I mean, that losing to them in Vrabel's last year was pretty much, I think it's been reported that's pretty much when she made that decision, was losing at home to the Texans in her Oilers uniforms. So if we're 0-4 and we are in the midst of possibly a worse era than Ken Wisenhunt, you got to start thinking about making decisions. But then, it's interesting how similar. Like we are 10 years removed from the Marcus Mariota rookie year, 3-13 season, where we had our franchise quarterback. At least at that time, Mariota was a bright spot on that team. He was making plays. He was running 87 yards down the field to score a rushing touchdown against the Jaguars. He gave you a reason to go to the games and to have hope. And now we're seeing kind of a similar thing play out with Cam Ward, and so we have that to lean on, but it's you have to think about him and what's best for Cam Ward. I've had discussions with a couple friends, like, do you let Callahan ride out the whole season despite wins and losses? I'll throw it back to you. How much would that hurt him developmentally to be playing for the same head coach, week in, week out in the same offense and system? Would that disrupt his development? And I think a counter argument is if we, regardless of what the offensive scheme is and a coach who calls plays and has a feel for the game and can game plan, if we can't protect Cam Ward, all of that is a moot point because we're going to ruin him in terms of keeping him healthy. Marcus Mariota got banged up. He was dealing with several injuries by the end, his second season when he tore his, broke his leg, fibula, the big notorious Christmas Eve fibula injury. Are we about to stare one of those in the face again with Cam Ward? I hate to say it, but it feels like history is starting to repeat itself with where the Titans are in drafting a franchise quarterback. And God, I hope not. So I don't know what's the move. I mean, I think we've seen enough from Callahan, and I don't think he's got it to be a head coach in the NFL at this point in his career. But yeah, where do you pull the trigger? Is it 0-4? Is it 1-7? Is it 2-9? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we're possibly in for that kind of a season. I mean, even if the Titans at home somehow beat the 2-0 Indianapolis Colts for Cam Ward's first win, I'm going to love it. I will be excited. I will be so happy for the team. But I don't think that would really move an inch for me, in my opinion, about Brian Callahan being the head football coach moving forward. I still don't want him to coach this team. So I don't know. I think he's too far gone from saving for me. It's just at what point do you let him go is the question. And I think that's a good point. A good question is I don't know what the smart move is here. Like, do we fire him? We're already expecting to go 0-4. When we're 0-4, is that when we make the move? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
I'm going to take a look at the schedule, Justin. I'm sorry, dude. Just the phrase infamous Christmas Eve fibula injury just made me laugh. That, like, I know I can tell you exactly where I was. I can tell you exactly what I was wearing. I can the notorious fibula injury. Every Titans fan knows where they were. But
we were on the cusp of breaking our playoff drought against the hapless Jags, and that just changed everything for us. It's still a great season. 2016 was very exciting. It was because we did go 9-7, turn it around from the 3-13. Anyway, that's enough history lessons here. But
anyway, so Justin, I'm going to tell you exactly where it's going to happen. So you are home against the Colts, away against Houston, who was also 0-2, by the way, and not looking all that particularly captivating or good. So, Justin, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Titans win one of these next two ball games. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't know which one it's going to be. It's going to be one of the two. So you're going to be 1-3. And you go on the road to Arizona. I'm going to say loss. You go on the road to Las Vegas. I'm going to say loss as well there, just because he's not going to outcoach Pete Carroll. Justin, this is where the Titans pull the plug. So they're what?
Yeah.
1-5 coming into the home date with the
Ugh.
New England Patriots. And I really hope Amy Adams Strunk is in the building for that one. Because if she is, and the Titans get absolutely smacked around the yard by Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots to
Yeah.
drop to 1-6, Brian Callahan will be fired. You saw it after the Philadelphia game. AJ Brown traded, big move. Amy Adams Strunk's regime said, it had to be done. And you get smacked around the yard by AJ Brown. Literally, his touchdown celebration where he's spanking the goalpost with his towel. Amy does not like to be embarrassed, Justin. She does not like to be embarrassed.
Mm.
In the house for the Oilers Houston game 2 years ago, that was Mike Vrabel's final straw. Doesn't like to be embarrassed against, the city that her father left and the uniforms that her father took with him. Doesn't like to be embarrassed. If she's there and the Titans get smacked around by the Mike Vrabel Patriots in Week 7, it's over. It's over. If the last two firings of the GM and head coach tell you anything, Rain Carthon excluded, is that is the circled date on the calendar. As if Brian Callahan can find a way to win that game and prove his salt as a head coach somewhere along the line, then maybe he'll finish out the season. But like you said, Justin, I think it's past the point of no return. He's 30 games into his tenure. What has he done? Is he No, he's 20 some
20.
Games. Yeah, he's
17 and now 19. Yeah.
I got you. Pardon me. He's 20 some games into his coaching tenure. Has he done anything at all? Has there been a press conference quote? Has there been a locker room video speech? Has there been anything sideline, him getting into somebody? Anything that proves to you that Brian Callahan is the coach that can win football games for this team? Nothing. There's been nothing in I'm already counting this season off because he's not going to show me anything. He's also, for me, past the point of no return, Justin. I don't believe in this head coach. Can you earnestly say, you look around the league, you said it last week, Justin. I thought this was the best point you made last week. If you put all 30 other NFL teams on the field against Denver last week and played the same exact game, you're hard-pressed to find a team that doesn't win that football game in Denver. Why is that? It can't just be lack of talent over and over again. That can't be your dividing line. These guys get paid to play too, Justin. Every guy on the NFL field is a professional football player. It comes down to scheme. It comes down to strategy. It comes down to putting your guys in a position to succeed on the football field. And I think you look around the league to the 31 other NFL head coaches, and you really say, do you have faith in Brian Callahan to outcoach any of these guys? And I don't know that there is one. I'm sure there's plenty of other teams and fan bases saying the same thing about their own head coach, but I think it's true. It's true. I think in NFL head coaches, he probably ranks 30, 31, 32, somewhere in there. And that's just the way it is. And you got rid of a top 10 head coach to do this. Even when Mike Vrabel was, 6-11 with that first Will Levis team, he won 6 games out of a way worse roster than we have right now. And I don't get it. I don't understand the thought process here.
Right. And a way worse quarterback. I mean, winning 6 games with Levis and who else was it? Mason Rudolph? I can't remember.
Now, Mason Rudolph was last
it was also Tannehill. That's right.
That
Tannehill was in and out with injuries. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm trying to think of a good response, but I think we're kind of on the same page here. And that, this dude, it's just this. It is like coaching, like the penalties, dude. Like we had how many penalties last week? We had 10 again this week, and just scoring points. Dude, you texted me now back to back weeks. Gonna have to score a touchdown. We're gonna need a touchdown at some point. this team has one touchdown after 2 games, and I don't think you can write up the touchdown due to Brian Callahan's great play calling and great
No.
scheming and getting a guy open. It was all improvisation of Cam Ward rolling out, getting away from traffic, out of trouble, and heaving. I think you used the word electrifying, Jake. I think that's underselling. I would go so far as to say that might be the best throw I've seen a Titans quarterback make. I'll have to think about it,
Wow.
but that's one of the best throws I've seen. Just in terms of yes, we don't want to see him make a throw like that a whole lot. That's what they preach against. Don't throw across the field, across your body. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it worked out, and it was on the money. Just the perfect touch on the ball. I mean, put it right on the spot. Like it's one of the most miraculous throws I think I've seen a quarterback make in a Titans uniform. I mean, that was Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers-esque kind of touch, just pulling something out of nowhere and throwing his first NFL TD pass. So yeah, I credit Cam Ward and Elick Ayomanor for our lone touchdown on the season. And quick side thing, have you noticed while we are complaining and unhappy with the offense / Callahan, you know what quietly is doing pretty good is special teams. And you almost forget how terrible our special teams were last year in terms of coverage and whatever else, kicking, punting. I mean, Stonehouse, unfortunately had his terrible injury. I thought he was going to be the punter for the next decade. But dude, Joey Sly is coming in and is perfect, nailing these kicks. I think Johnny Hecker is doing a great job with his punts. And lo and behold, we might have ourselves a dangerous return man in Shamir Adike. I mean, yes, like this is great. And dude, we got a coach that knows what he's doing. The Jim Fossil's kid. I sound old because I'm remembering his father, and now his son is coaching special teams. I can't remember, but and he's known to be a great special teams coach. Like that's something we did right. We did correctly. The special teams has definitely been a bright spot after 2 weeks, in my opinion. I thought that block in the back was pretty soft, pretty tacky, or pretty just very ticky tack, I think is what I'm trying to say. That could have gone without being called, but I think had it been not called, I think that's the same drive we got the special Cam Ward moment touchdown pass. All that just to give a shout out to our special teams. There's a positive shout out there where we seem to be heading in the right direction in one phase of the game. So yeah, I don't know. It really comes back to the whole general head coaching being the issue. I mean, the defense is fine, especially in the first half. I mean, we have a tendency to let it get away from us. The end around to Puka Nacua in the first half was pretty backbreaking way to give up a touchdown. But they rallied, and then it wasn't really until the strip sack on Cam Ward, Rams recover. A couple plays later, they score a touchdown. That's when the game really gets away from us. And this team can't, we can't afford a back-breaking mistake and then a total flip and a quick touchdown allowed and be able to recover from that. We're not that kind of team. But the defense keeps you in the game, at least, in the first half. We're just kind of waiting for our offense to come along week in and week out. But yeah, so I don't know. What else, Jake? What else do you got for this video?
That's what the last thing I'll say about it, Justin, is you mentioned it. We're in these games. We're in these games hanging in there. But once it gets to be a 10-point lead, insurmountable. A 2-possession game at any moment in the football game is insurmountable for Brian Callahan's Tennessee Titans. Insurmountable.
Yeah.
You might as well end the game, start the running clock. And I think that's one thing Brian Callahan could do to maybe gain some traction back in for me. How about a comeback win? How about any kind of comeback after the game hits a 10-point, like when the Rams went up 11, the game was over. It was over.
Yeah. Yep.
It was midway through the third quarter, and I was like, well, there it goes. And you said
Yeah.
we can't have the backbreaker. We can't have a 10-point deficit, no matter how much time is left on the clock. And
Mm-hmm.
that is infuriating. Why, you know, the defense played well in the first half, Justin. You said that. What could have Sean McVay done at halftime to come out and have more offensive success in the second half? Coaching adjustments. Oh my God.
Adjustment.
Oh my God.
Magic word.
What a concept. So,
That's what the good coaches do.
and so, you looked at this Indianapolis game going into the season and thought it was a winnable game, home game early
Yeah.
in the year, divisional game. But now, not so much, Justin. And it's FTC week. We hate the Colts. Those wretched, wretched Indianapolis scum coming into the Titans Stadium this week. And I think they're
Yes.
going to walk out with a win. And that's going to be my whole preview, Justin, just because what faith do you have in Brian Callahan's Tennessee Titans? I have faith in Cam Ward to be entertaining, make plays, make things happen when nothing is out in front of him. But that doesn't win football games in the NFL all too often. It can steal you some points, but it's not going to get you far as win-losses. And I just Brian Callahan's going to be outcoached again. Let me give you a preview and let me look into the crystal ball, Justin. It's going to be a tie game at halftime, probably about 13-13 or maybe 13-10 or 10-10, somewhere there. And then the Titans aren't going to score any more points in the second half. And then the Colts are going to score a couple of touchdowns, and it'll be, I'm going to go 27-17. Justin, we're going to get 2 touchdowns this time because one is a pity touchdown, one's a garbage touchdown. But it'll be 27-17 Indy, and it's going to be more of the same of the Brian Callahan experiment.
And I'll do one more for you. If the Colts, assuming the Colts will get the kickoff in the third quarter, defense playing tough, playing well, maybe only allow that 10 points that you mentioned, they are going to take the opening second half kickoff and march right down the field with ease and score a touchdown because they made adjustments to how we were playing defense. And they found a hole in the scheme that we're playing with. So that's going to happen. And then, it's going to probably be a back-breaking mistake. Do you really know your Brian Callahan era football team? That's really, I think you're really on the money with these predictions.
I've watched
way too many. If you were going to say it, I was going to say the same thing in that it's going to be a close game. There's going to be hope. They're going to be like, hey, we're in this. But in the back of your mind, you know where this is going to go. That we're going to run out of gas. Defense is going to run out of gas. Offense is going to start stalling and really struggle to get anything going. And the holes will open up on the defensive side. They're going to kind of run away with probably a 10-point, 14-point win. We know the Brian Callahan style too well. And you're looking at the Colts team, you're looking at Jonathan Taylor, who's looking like he's in for a great season. He's playing well, and they're going to ride him and wear us down unless we can jump out and get a lead early. And we have such a hard time, Jake, scoring, points in order to take control of a football game. And so I don't know, it's frustrating, but, at least like we've been saying, we have Cam Ward. It seems like there is a bright spot here, something to work with, but it's really just kind of a waiting game. And all right, when are we getting another head coach? It's hard to get really excited for this season, in terms of winning and success, winning football games. But watching Cam Ward will always be a treat. And hopefully we can keep him healthy enough where he can play a full season for us this year, all 17 games. And, in Elic Iomanner, what a nice little find we seem to have found in the 4th round, I think. He looks like he could be trending into number 1 wide receiver territory. And we need that on this football team while you have Calvin Ridley continuing to drop passes here in the second week of the season still. I don't know. You love it when Calvin Ridley flashes. He's got such great speed and route running and separation. But what good does that do you when you can't reliably, come down with a catch? This offense keeps just shooting themselves in the foot. And if Brian Callahan, if he needs any credit, like, hey, he's not dropping those passes out there. I mean, I see some plays that are to be made on the field, and our receivers aren't coming down with them. So it's a collective group effort of why we're struggling to move the ball up and down the field and scoring points. So we'll see, man. We'll see what we got against the Colts next week. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be sweating it out again in the sunshine. So I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping for the best, because boy, oh boy, there's not a team I like to beat more than the Colts. And they seem to be the team we have the hardest time beating for the last 15 or so years. Or like really, it goes back to like Peyton Manning. Yeah, dude, the Colts freaking own us, and it sucks. It sucks, dude. And we can't. I mean, they have freaking Daniel Jones back there at quarterback now. No Peyton Manning, no Andrew Luck. I mean, even Phillip Rivers was good for him. I missed the Carson Wentz Colts. Bring back Carson Wentz, dude. We could beat the Colts when they had him.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now. But yeah, dude, there's our week 2 recap, and moving on to week 3 and counting down when we can move on. But you know, it's still football. It's still football season. I mean, you got to enjoy the sport while it's here, even if your team stinks.
Absolutely.
So still looking forward to the game and what we can look for and complain about next week on Titans Tube.
Well, God love you, Justin. God love the other 40,000, 2/3 full fans that'll pile into Nissan Stadium for the thrilling AFC South matchup. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's go try and beat the Colts. Let's go try and score 2 touchdowns this week. Let's go try and make some halftime adjustments. Let's just try to bring home a division W, Justin. It just might happen if we put our minds to it. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Titans Tube. We'll see you next week.